Okay, so I'm planning on doing this tape, like I said. I wanted people just to be able to, or me, to be able to just pop it up on YouTube right away, because I don't plan on really BSing anybody. I grew vegetables in this yard, actually, just right there. Oh, this is where I can't see if you can see it. Oh, hey, Fang. Yeah, that was a vegetable garden for a little while. So anyway, I got depressed, and at least the kids in the neighborhood, I was hoping Justin and PJ would be able to sneak over and see it. I just left it in the ground, left it there for a whole winter so they'd be able to see the difference of like what it was like to grow, how it pushed itself out of the ground, what it was, just what the whole process was like. My kids have missed out on a lot, actually. They missed out on me their whole childhood. I've been so afraid that I couldn't even be a parent to my sons, and that's what ticks me off, is the fact that I know that I was so ticked off and stressed out and afraid that my sons didn't really get to know me. I know how much I yelled at my son, and I can't forgive these people for that. That's not me passing the buck. That's me being psychologically tortured by professional bullies. These are the same people that would have control over our children that they deem trouble youth. There's a real problem with that, the potential of psychological harm coming to these children. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they already approved through the Supreme Court Justice it's okay to talk about Nazism. So now that they have our troubled youth, they also have the court documentation to be able to teach them that. These are how sly and slick these people are. And look what they did to Ashley Simpson and got away with it. This is a frightening, frightening situation. And you people know it. You've either experienced it in healthcare, know someone who has, or you've seen some documentary that someone had to fight to be able to get. So because of this access to information, us submitting to this access of information, we were entitled to this information. Just the fact, it's like a big game, The more that we fight back, the more solid they become in making sure that we can't get things done. Our only hope are little documentaries like this. Like, there's a problem. I do have a solution to be able to fix it all. This is how I start my day, totally stress-free. Trying to get my sons back. I want my garden. Most people, whether you're in Toronto and you got a small backyard, or man, if you got a space there, why don't we have some community farming going on? Teach people how to grow strawberries on their patio. These types of things for your workers, government workers or regular workers, to live a very stress-free life does not cost a lot of money, and it would be very cost-effective. For example, I grew up with a chicken down there on Froude Avenue. I used to go over and visit as a little girl, and then all of a sudden you weren't allowed to keep that type of animal in the city. Sure, I think that that's a wicked idea. I'm paying $4 for eggs. I want a chicken. Chickens are not that bad. I get a couple of them. I want a butcher. I want to take my chicken to the butcher. If the boys don't want to eat chicken after that, that's understandable. Let's start eating fish. My sons can't stand fish. They're Newfoundlanders who don't like fish. I couldn't even cook it in the house. They wouldn't have let me. There was one savior, and that was George. George used to buy fish and then come over and have me cook it for him, which was awesome. So it was an excuse for the boys to let me cook it. They couldn't stand it, and I absolutely loved it. I love fish quite a bit, but you can't afford it. I'm in Newfoundland, and I can't afford fish. That's crazy. and that's, probably every other Newfoundlander is still eating fish the way that I did when I was a little girl. But you know what? I ain't getting any of it. I think I got 2 feeds of free fish since I've been here that wasn't purchased through Sobeys, except for George, like I said. There's a problem. Yeah, I grew up with fish in my deep freeze. I grew up with fish twice a week. And, I still treat myself to fish and chips quite a bit. But we're not eating we're not eating healthy anymore. None of us are. And apparently there's a Senate meeting that was on CPAC just a few minutes ago. And Buddy, one of the Senate guys, was talking, which I should go back and document, I guess, the actual name. Hey. But basically, we're all eating like processed foods, lots of salt, lots of sugar. And I made my own jam from strawberries that I got on sale. It was buy one, get one free. A couple started going bad. I put it on the stove. You know, if you don't know how to make jam, put Jell-O in it. Put it in the fridge, and way to go, you got jam. So if you buy 2 for $5 strawberries, you get to eat some fresh, and then you get your bottle of jam, which is pretty much $4. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways that we can get back to healthy eating and cost productiveness and stuff like that. It's back to cottage industries. You know, and there's lots of jobs down here. There's tons of jobs. But you know what? Government tells us that we can't sustain ourselves. So that's what caused big industry. So that means that sustainability for our food products, our wages, everything is at risk. Totally at risk. You don't believe me? Do you see what's going on in Greece and Italy and all of these particular places? So, you know, I would rather have a little farm, and I would like to have a chicken in my backyard, and I don't want city planning to tell me that I cannot. I can appreciate, you know, having a chicken on your veranda, but hey, if you have a pet, technically you could. So, I mean, these are the types of things that I'd like to talk about. I'd like to be able to talk about why am I spending so much money to eat, you know, and I also want to talk about addiction. I'm extremely addicted to coffee and cigarettes. I have to have the conversation with my little boys about marijuana. I did tell PJ that I did work as a healthcare worker, home professional, not professional, what do they call them? Home provider job. And my job really at the end of the day was to sit there, feed him, and roll his joints and get stoned with him. It was like a really good job. But you know, these types of things go on because I did. And can you imagine I have to have that conversation with my son about marijuana? And I do, because I have to be honest with him. I didn't smoke it around him. Smoked it very rare in their childhood, but there were stages that I did have it. This is something that I have to be honest with. I think alcohol is... you know, as a parent, a single parent, alcohol is not exactly where it's at, because once you're drunk, you know, and when you're stoned, you eat. So I don't know, but as single parents, you know what, you don't have money to go out. In my particular case, I didn't have friends or family, so I would start watching TV, news media.